Yo, what's going on, everybody? You. It's another great episode of the D.B.A.B. podcast. With your boys, Kirton, Jack, and Clete is here on the show tonight. Thank you for tuning in. When you do, if you listen to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or all 90 minutes plus, right? Because we're going to hit that 90-minute mark, right? At some point tonight, we are going to go over because all we do is just talk, and just catch up and have fun. But we appreciate you if you do tune in. We love all of our fans, whether it's one of you, 5 of you,
all five of y'all,
10 of you, whatever
Thank
it is
you.
nowadays. Thank you for your consistent support and all that. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
We do have a new one, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Let's
yeah?
go!
That's right.
I told her about it, and she goes, "Oh, okay, and download it." I said, "Have you listened?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Nope,
That's
I have not."
One, just tell her to have it streaming in the background. She don't have to listen to it. It just captures
I told her if you play it at work, you may want to put headphones on or play it low because we cuss a lot.
We?
I'm about to say you. You got a mouse in your pocket or what?
Okay, Josh, you got the Mr. like good mouth too, Josh? Huh? Yeah, you.
I understand that. But
Me and you,
I would say that right now our cuss ranking would be Cletus, myself, and then Jack.
Whoa, I'm not
Agreed.
even on the list.
You're on the list.
You've had
You
some.
You let a few fly. You let a few fly. It's not as much as me and Josh. Like me and Josh together make up 99% of the cuss words.
Yeah, we've said
about it. This was Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've set up. Clete and I together have said enough cuss words that we could pay out Jimbo Fisher for the next till 2032 in curse words. All right. That's how many curse words we've said. That's probably
if we had $1 cuss word.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, did y'all see SEC shorts?
Yes, I saw it.
God, SEC shorts or anything like big news happens, they are hilarious.
I came across them on Twitter. I think I shared it with you guys, the A&M one, and I started watching some of the other ones.
They had some good ones.
They're pretty hilarious.
Oh, it's like on the nose.
Yeah,
it's freaking
good.
Awesome. I watched them, and there's a guy from his name is Matt something. He's on Southern, like there used to be a YouTube channel called like Southern Things. It was all like South, stereotype stuff deal. He's kind of a bigger guy, and he does like SEC roll call every Monday, and it's pretty funny.
Another one that's funny is the guy that does the voice impressions of like Nick Saban. And he goes, he's also got Dion now and some others. These are pretty good.
The best one's Scooter Magoober, though. Is it Scooter Magoober? The piss down your leg, can't make a play.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you pissed down the leg.
Yeah, I haven't seen one from him in a while. But
that's pretty good. That one one was a Cowboys fan, and he.
Oh yeah.
Cowboy fans watching Week 5. Super Bowl.
I do have to say they're playing well. So only if the Cowboys could play the Giants every week, they can really.
100%.
But anyways, always remember that you can find the D.B.A.B. podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. Spotify, Apple, all the above for all those podcasting servers out there. Also on YouTube and on X. Okay. But gentlemen, we got a great show tonight.
Hey,
go ahead.
Sorry. One thing.
You got the theme music yet, boys?
Yeah, I know. Hey, something cool though happened last night in Denver City, Josh, and you may not know him. You know the Fots, Jack?
Sounds familiar.
All the Fots? Yeah. So Dustin won the state championship in Brownfield.
Yeah.
And Derek is his brother. They're both from Ozona. Pretty cool moment last night in Denver City. Dustin is the head basketball coach at Greenwood. Derek's the head basketball coach at Denver City. Played each other last night.
That's pretty cool.
It was something pretty cool because I texted my old roommate. Goes, how was the brother versus brother game last night?
Nice.
And
another thing happened against Denver City.
Greenwood beat the hell out of them.
Denver City played my mother-in-law. Shout out Sundown Ruffettes.
They get the win.
They did.
Good.
Oh,
shout out Sundown.
How are they supposed to be this year? They got a chance to make a run.
if you ask Coach, she said they got some growing to do.
They suck. They suck. They're awful. Worst team in America.
They don't suck. They have some growth.
Cue
the theme music. Let's roll.
She can go Brian Hughes and Coach. We're the worst team in freaking America and beat you by 40 the next week.
Yeah.
Coach, we're awful. We're awful. We're the worst team in America.
Yeah,
Coach, what happened? I don't know, Coach. We just got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, we just got lucky and hit 15 3-pointers in the first half.
That literally sounds like
Coach Watson. Brian Hughes. Oh, yeah. We're awful. Beat you by 40.
Shout out, Coach Watson. Let's go.
What happened? I don't know. We just got lucky.
Well, I know it was like first, second, third quarter. They were in a ball game, and they're up by 5, up by 3. And then I look at the fourth quarter, and they get up by 20 points. And I'm like, they must be terrible.
Go talk to her, and he goes, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Hannah talks to her all the time, and that's what she says.
Yeah,
like, we got some work to do, but
we got some work to do.
All right, cue the music.
Cue the music. Let's go. All right, there's the music. There's officially the beginning of the show now. About 7 minutes into it, gentlemen, we're gonna hit the ground running here. We're gonna talk about the first topic I actually went through. Y'all should be proud of me, Jack. I went back.
Did you make a spreadsheet?
I went down and wrote a list here. Almost went
of topics.
Yeah, we're busting my chops when I did that.
Well, I just wanted to be. I had a little bit of time since I, obviously have way more time.
Because you don't teach, so it's fine. Yeah.
Well, that too. But
before we do all that, we got some Be the Light moments, and we got some Be the Light moments, and we also have, shout out to our boys still in the Texas State playoffs. Shout out Roosevelt, keep it running, baby. Let's go. So I got I guess 2 Be the Light moments. One was last week at professional development. We're on that 4-day work week. We had PD that Friday, and I got a certificate for being hilarious with my dad jokes. And the dad, I go up to some of our people in the hallways, and I see him, and I make a dad joke or some cheesy joke, and they love it. And speaking, I got one for you, Josh, but they gave me an award that said comedian.
Let's go.
Comedian of the staff, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. Can't get wrong with that. That's Be the Light moment.
That's you, baby.
And then it could be taken one or two ways. I'm a teacher first. We're a teacher, coach, whatever you want to say, but I take coach as a pride and joy. But the teacher, the teacher that made me want to be a coach or teacher was just, I got some unfortunate news today that she's on hospice and assisted living in Lubbock. And I need to give her a shout out because, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for Miss Warren. So Miss Warren, shout out to you. I know you probably don't listen to D.B.A.B podcast, but I do got to say you are one of the really reasons why I'm a coach, and you are truly loved and appreciated, no doubt. So I have to shout out to my all-time favorite teacher, Miss Mary Warren. And I hope to see you next week when I'm in the LBK visiting family. I'm going to try to visit you. But those are my 2 Be the Light moments. Being a comedian, my long lost dream of being a comedian, and the teacher that made me want to be a teacher. Be the Light moment. Here's the joke, Josh. What did the horse say when he got tripped?
What?
I have fallen and I can't giddy up.
Oh,
like that one.
I love how I love my sense of humor and laughing at everything.
That's the joke of the day.
Let's go.
And then you soccer guy. Here's another one. Why is Cinderella not very good at soccer?
Why?
Because she runs from the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, but can we discuss Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
What about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
Are we not all obsessed with them? This is a football podcast. So we can talk about
This
it.
is a football podcast, and we need to
Hey,
talk
I think
about
out of the
Hey,
four people
Travis
right now, there's one
Kelce
person.
made Taylor's. It's a shame that Taylor Swift's trying to get clout from Travis Kelce. Just saying.
He said it's a shame.
I'm so sorry, but I think you're trying to get canceled.
Get canceled? What am I getting canceled from? Anna?
I think it's a really smart business move from Travis Kelce.
What do you say?
It's a real smart business move by Travis Kelce.
Stop! They're perfect. Did you not see him at her concert?
Yeah, he was probably bored as hell until the end.
I know if he does not win on Monday, we got some serious problems, Kansas City.
I'll send y'all all the videos of him smiling so happy because they're in love.
Y'all are going to a concert?
No. She's gonna send you videos of him at the concert singing, and she's saying like Karma is the guy from the Chiefs or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's been all over TikTok and Facebook or whatever. It's been on everything.
They're all over everything. Like anytime something happens, they always blow up about it.
Oh, by the way, nice hat, Cletus. That's a nice hat you got there, big
Thanks,
guy.
man. It's my dad hat.
Too bad some of us haven't lifted in a while.
It's my dad. Well,
I
hey, I just you haven't?
I have not.
Well, me and the missus have. I say missus. Me and Alexis have. Me and Alexis have started.
Oh, it's getting real! It's getting real.
Me and
Grizzly.
me and Alexis have started walking we try to do it like 5 days a week.
Okay, good.
Okay, and
So,
it's a good time to
walk 45 walk
Yeah.
45 minutes. When we first started, I was pissed. I want to throw my hat at her.
It sucks. Why do we do
How
it?
many cuss words were said?
Under my breath a lot. Out loud. Handful.
One.
This is fucking bullshit. This is fucking sucks.
This is horse
We're
crap,
done.
Alexis.
I'm done. I'm going home.
Alexis, you're on the timer.
We haven't even made out of the driveway yet, and I'm already tired of this. Fuck it.
It's fucking bullshit.
Awesome.
But it was
Give me a side watch football.
it was good. It's been good, man. So we're doing that every day, or trying to do consistently, and just kind of trying to, she's holding me accountable and me holding her accountable. So it's been good.
That's what it's
Well,
about.
since we're at the level of calling her Mrs. now, when's the move-in date?
Stop it. Stop it.
When's the move-in date?
First off,
I know
the boys haven't met her,
For real.
so we can't assume the move-in.
Here's
date.
the thing. Here's the crappy thing though. She's
Jackass
going.
girlfriend.
She's going to South Texas next week. I know. I was hoping since you're up.
I'll be there Tuesday.
Yeah, she will be in Louisiana, I think, because her brother plays for Louisiana Lafayette,
Yeah.
and so yeah,
Well, looks like she has to wait.
yeah. Unfortunately,
To meet your bestie. We've all established that I'm the bestie.
Yeah, she has to meet Jack first, and then she can meet everybody else.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to meet me first?
Oh, absolutely. The comedian, duh.
The comedian, man. That's what I'm talking
Absolutely.
about. Dang straight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I should be in the 806 sometime.
Did we invite you?
No, well, I don't even think my own mother invited me. I'm just tagging along with my sister.
Dang.
Shout out, Mama. Love you.
Shout out, Mama Curtin.
Shout out, Mama.
that's awesome.
Oh, good stuff. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Clete. That's good that you guys are having that time together, and even the simple things to walk. Like sometimes walk is nice to be able to go out and kind of clear your mind and kind of get away from everything else. Kind of.
Yeah.
You definitely need that. I need to start
100%.
doing stuff like that.
But didn't you and
throat
Han do
punch
that for
somebody.
Didn't you and Han do that for a little bit? Like
Yes.
y'all's walks.
Yes. We did. And now Bustle Hannah gets home the same time I get home. Because, Teacher of the Year status.
Yeah.
Shout out to the real MVP of the Garcias.
Yeah, and not to toot my own horn here too, but I also have started walking. I walk from the field house to my truck,
I'm proud of
and I
you.
walk from my truck to my front door, into my house, and so that's about the walking I get.
And then he walks. Then he walks to the fridge,
Walk to the fridge, grab a drink, walk back to the couch, recline it, sit there and watch TV.
and then he
Walk
kicks
upstairs.
his little leggies up.
Yeah, kick my little leggies on my little couch I got that has the
Lazy
button.
boy, right?
Lazy boy. I got the button. I click and it just drives up the feet for me.
You don't even have the handle yet. The swing. Oh my god.
Well, I used to have the recliner thing, and then the coach got a nice one, and so I got one too that has the button. So I just recline back, watch, skim through Disney Plus or Netflix, putting everything into my watch later folder. Never watch anything. 3 hours later, cut it off, go to bed, walk upstairs, go to bed. Typical, bachelor lifestyle, So
We don't know that lifestyle.
No, I know. I'm not trying to flaunt it here or anything. Super, super busy over here. So
super. He said, super busy.
Super busy
over here. Super busy. Well, at least the bachelor lifestyle is nice and all. I'm sure, but your house right now doesn't look like Clark Griswold.
No, it does not. There's
Yours does,
there's
though.
not a single piece of Christmas.
Don't be a Grinch, dude.
So
Don't be a Grinch.
I'll say this: I helped
I
decorate her house or her apartment the other day.
Look at him.
Not as much crap as I thought it was going to be. I was anticipating like Hannah level of Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Mentally, I was like,
well, she's not there yet. Like once y'all down the road when y'all move in, then you'll notice like, well, you didn't have this before. You didn't have this before. Wait, there's all over the place.
Hobby Lobby.
Why am I wearing this shirt?
Hobby Lobby spokesperson and mannequin holder, Hannah Rose.
Oh, without a doubt. If Hannah had an unlimited budget to get ready for Christmas, y'all would have been done up in July, and it would be up all year, and everything in the house would be Christmas. Like you'd have lights going, you'd have ornaments outside, you'd have wreaths covering every door.
I do appreciate Alexis going. I usually don't put my tree up till after Thanksgiving. I have to enjoy Thanksgiving first. So
respect. But Thanksgiving to me is just a day. You just enjoy the food. Christmas is a season.
Did you watch
after Thanksgiving?
Did your wife show you that picture I sent her?
No, I'm sure she told me about it.
I found a picture. I might have sent in the group text. It was two inflatable like lawn ornaments. It was a turkey. It had a sign and it had Santa on the side, like tied up. It said, "Wait your turn."
Yeah. Yeah. She showed me that and said, "This is what Clete just sent me." And I said, "It's true though." But the little joys in life. We were watching a Christmas movie. I guess yesterday, and they had like this guy has his house full of Christmas like lights everywhere in this house, and she goes, "Goals." And I said, "Hannah, your house is pretty damn close."
Yeah.
And she goes, "But I need more. I need more." And I said, "You don't need any more.
No more, please. No more.
No more, please."
I can't take no more.
Good, little joys,
Oh yeah. It's like students in my class, like on November 1st. Coach, can we play Christmas music, please?
Yeah, man, come on. Don't be a Grinch,
November
dude.
1st.
How do you not love Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas"?
Oh, that was the first song I played. It was great.
I like
that was the first song I played.
Big fan.
Big fan. Yeah, how do you not play that? How come you have not played it like 20 times?
Oh, it's on one of my playlists, so it comes on all the time, all throughout the year. So that one and "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree."
Okay.
"All I Want for Christmas" is a hippopotamus.
Yeah, you were.
Eagles, Please Come Home for Christmas is one of my all-time favorites.
One of my all-time favorites.
Jesus is reason for the season.
One of my favorite Christmas songs is "All I Want for Christmas is a Hippopotamus."
Why? Because the hippopotamus reminds you of
It's just a banger. Hey, it's just a banger. It's a banger.
Well, okay. Or before we start talking Christmas, we can bring this later for our top hot takes. Anyway, let's. This is an interesting subject. We all know how we feel about Mr. Dak Prescott, right? This is an interesting topic. How would you feel if Dak Prescott was playing the way Josh Allen has been playing? What would be happening in the media world? This is a perfect example of like the difference, like Buffalo and Dallas. Like if you know Josh Allen has not been playing his best football this year.
He's the
He's
reason why
leading the
they
league.
fired their OC.
He's leading the league in interceptions. And Dak Prescott is over here having some great stats, leading the Cowboys, doing good things, and they trying to find ways to make him sound like the Eagles lost. That wasn't Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
The Bills lost the other night. That was Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think or listen to all these people dogging and talking bad about Dak Prescott, but they leave this guy untouched. How do you feel about that, Joshua?
Well, for the most part, Dak is usually the easiest scapegoat for any time the Cowboys struggle, right? Because
Yes.
of
He's the star.
he's the biggest. He has the biggest target on his back because he plays for the biggest franchise in the NFL. Name and brand and value, all the above. And he plays the position that has the biggest spotlight on it. So, and of course, he went through his period where he wanted to be, I don't want to say cried for it, but he wanted the money, right? And he got the money and
He
all
got
that
paid
stuff.
like a big boy quarterback.
Got paid like a big boy quarterback, and he hasn't necessarily produced like a big boy quarterback consistently when the moments have arrived. So he's always kind of consistently got the the criticisms from sports media, and it's a lot of it's been warranted because of his play, and not being able to lead the Cowboys to success when it truly matters. Right? It could be easy for him to go through the regular season and beat the Eagles and win the division and all stuff, but when it truly matters for somebody within the pedigree of the Cowboys is for them to go to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, and anything
Mhm.
else short of that is deemed a failure in their eyes. Right? So
Champions. Yeah.
yeah, they have that historical pedigree. You know what I mean? So like when he comes out and talks the talk, but he doesn't back up his talk with action. Of course, it's easy for people to then go after him. Where somebody like Josh Allen, he doesn't get as much media spotlight because of who he plays for. When
Where
you think
where
about
he
it,
where he plays.
where he plays for, of course they've had success with him. But a lot of times when they've deemed that success, it always hasn't been like, "Hey, this is Josh Allen. This is the reason why." They usually have other things like they have a great defense. They got Stephon Diggs. They have X, Y, and Z. Da da da. Like there's more. It feels like sometimes there's more built-in excuses for other players in the league because of the markets they might play in or the teams they're on, all that kind of stuff. But um, you know, Allen this year's been obviously not very good. But he's one of the reasons. He's probably the reason why they fired their OC Ken Dorsey uh,
I can
yesterday, I
agree
think.
with
Right.
that.
So it's just even I haven't really watched a lot of Buffalo games, but it's been shocking to see some of the games that they've lost. Like when they lost the other night to the hell did they lose to? Was it Monday night they lost
Yeah.
to whoever they
With
lost
like 12 guys on the field,
Yeah, but like stuff like that, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, and of course, every quarterback in the league deserves their fair share of praise and criticisms because that's the one position that is highly, you know, media focused. You know what I mean? Like other guys can get their media here and there, but a lot of times it has to be something that they have to go out and get it and like have to turn the camera to them, whereas quarterbacks is just naturally kind of fixated on it. You know what I mean? So. Uh,
That's just the position. The
yeah,
nature of
so
the position.
and I think too, a lot of people in the sports media world are, I think deep down, they're kind of rooting for the Cowboys to be good. If that makes sense. But it's easy for a lot of them to, uh, when it's not looking good, it's easy for them to all jump on the bandwagon and try to find ways to point the finger at somebody, and it usually always points back at Dak. You know what I mean? Like it's never really been pointed
It's
anywhere
like
else.
Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but when they're successful and they're playing really well, since they're kind of America's team, everybody wants to jump on that bandwagon and kind of have that hope, like, oh, maybe this is the year. And then when it doesn't work out, it's who are they going to blame? Dak Prescott.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you know what I mean,
Well,
aka Dak Prescott.
you're gonna bring it to and I know I hate the NBA, but I think this is relevant too, Jack. And correct me if I'm wrong, please. It's like LeBron with LA.
Yeah.
Why? Best player or LeBron? It's LeBron polarizing, but why is he so polarizing? Because he's with the freaking Lakers. He's playing
That's true.
for top 2 team in terms of like you see that uniform, you go, oh, LA.
Yeah,
See that
that's
uniform,
true.
you go,
You're right.
oh, Boston.
But his whole
obviously-
career, he's been in. The
I know,
spotlight.
but like it's been magnified since he's been in LA.
Oh, agreed.
Oh, yeah.
because it's LA, because
Yeah.
it's the
We forget.
Lakers.
And we forget that the son Gun's been in the league since he was 18,
Right.
and now he's 38. And we're
Yeah.
still talking about him being one of the greatest of all time. Get out of
Right.
here! You can't tell me nothing else.
I know.
Right.
He's still
but
in the same category. We're still talking about him, and he's been in the league since he was 18, and now
Right.
he's 38. I
But
get what you're saying.
let me ask you.
It's the same thing. Big boy ball. You want money?
That's the standard. That is the
Agreed.
standard. Let me ask you this question, Jack, and it may be LeBron may be a bad example just because he's LeBron, because he is so polarizing, and he's been in the spotlight since he was 18.
Yeah.
But if he was still in Cleveland, would he have as many eyeballs on him?
I think he does
would,
because
but not as much. But yes, he would.
Right. Like if they underperformed like last year, would people be talking about LeBron being washed up? Probably not, just because again, Cleveland compared to the Lakers, LA.
That's true.
I also think it's the supporting cast around him. Like if he was back in Cleveland and he had Anthony Davis and he had these cats that he's had with the Lakers, I still think he has, maybe not to the same extent, but I still think he has the same media scrutiny or media attention because of who he is. Because he is literally the face of the NBA. Where we turn it back to Dak. Dak is not literally the face. He's not the face of the NFL. That makes sense. That
Who is?
I'd probably say right now it's probably Patrick Mahomes or something.
Patrick Mahomes. I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I would go Mahomes or like I'm trying to think Travis Kelce maybe.
No.
I would
Well,
say.
who
was the batting cover? It was Josh Allen.
Was it really?
Yes.
Tells you how much I pay attention to Madden nowadays.
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
The only reason
Josh Allen was the cover this year.
The only reason I say Kelce just because of how many commercials him and Mahomes have been on the last 2 years.
Yeah. I just think Kelce is just with the blow up of him and his brother's podcast and him being a really good media guy. You know what I mean? And of course, Taylor Swift now they can throw him in there because they can put the
T-Swizzle, baby.
Think about this. What if Mahomes played for Dallas? What if Mahomes played for Pittsburgh? What if Mahomes played for
Super Bowl?
Give me San Fran. The Patriots. What if Mahomes played for the Pats?
Yeah.
He would have a lot more media attention than he is because he's in Kansas City, not Dallas, not Pittsburgh, not Boston. What if he's in New York? Think about that.
Yeah.
Not the Giants or the Jets. Markets matter.
Agreed.
I mean, I truly think, a lot of times people forget about people just because of where they play. They could be great, but because you play in a small market like Carmel and Salt Lake, we don't think about. Now he's all-time great, but is he the first name that comes to your mind?
I would say John
on-
Stockton, but I get you, Carl Malone.
But it's like, but same era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
But again, I think location matters. Where scrutiny is, I think location matters. Big
Agreed.
markets matter. Small market teams won't get as many eyeballs. You know,
Oh yeah,
like
it's true. Like, so obviously you hit it, perfectly right on the head with it, like the big market stuff, because obviously there's more eyeballs and attention to those places. But then also, when you think about it too, most of the franchises that have had success throughout their history and are blue bloods of their sport are coming from these bigger markets. You know what I mean? So you also have that. Like, if he had went, if you have a star player in a big market, but that team traditionally does not have a strong team, like, he's still going to get the media coverage, but it doesn't. There's not that extra legacy ish. If talking about that, they have to live up to or be
what if
acquainted with.
Mahomes went to Texas instead of Tech? You know what I'm saying?
We would never know.
Right, but
Texas
that's what I'm
never
saying.
offered him. We would never know.
I know, but we would. I think the NFL would at least known who the fuck Patrick Mahomes was. His name would be a lot bigger than what it was.
Yes, I agree. I agree with market matters, and I think one of the biggest things that Dak gets criticized on is because he has the star on his helmet and not a buffalo.
100%.
All right, now what you got on your little list there? Let's go.
Well, just, I guess we can quickly go through this first one, but the first thing I had is more obviously personal to us, but for those that don't know, we are in Texas high school football playoffs. We are heading into the second round this week. Unfortunately, heartbreak for Jack Cobbs and I last week, as we all bowed out at the by-district round in our each
Dude,
respective
and I
ways.
was freaking, guys. I saw those scores. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah, same.
You know,
Same, Bubba, same.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
and of course we could sit here and talk for another hour about those games, and I can quickly sum up ours with great first half, not a good second half, and just, we had a chance at the end to win it. Unfortunately, we did, or not win it, but at least come down and tie it, take it in overtime or something. But came up short against a pretty good Clyde team who were big and physical, and would deserved it as well. It's not like we outplayed them and they, scraped by. It was a good game. We struggled to stop them defensively. They had a good running quarterback, big dude, all that kind of stuff. It was just a couple of
how'd you like
special.
that stadium?
Dublin was okay. It was all right, not too bad.
It's a pretty cool location, just right up on the hill.
Yeah, it was a nice little stadium, set up, uh, nice scoreboard. The turf field was really nice. It was a really nice turf uh, material. You know what I mean? It wasn't kind of like some of the other turf fields or whatever, so it was pretty nice. But yeah, as the last couple of days, going back through a little bit here and there to kind of watch some film. It's kind of hard to watch sometimes
Yes.
afterwards, to go back and watch. Like,
Oh,
usually,
that last game, I usually don't watch. I usually do
yeah,
not
that's
watch the
usually
last
that's
game.
usually my kind of thing too. Is I don't watch our last game until maybe the year after, like, kind of go back and watch and stuff. But I've been peeking, like, for me, special teams wise, like, we went up 14-7, then we tried to onside them, and we literally had the ball, but as our kid grabbed the ball and was rolling over his back, the ball popped up out of his hands right into the arms of one of their kids right behind him. So we went from being able to maybe get the ball and go up 21-7 to they got the ball and went 14-14, and then, we all said, "Hey, they're going to start the second half with an onside." Prepared our kids, talked to them about it. What do they do? Onside, get the ball back. Went down and tied up. So that stuff for me was it was hard to sleep that night with those kind of things. But
That's the
overall,
weirdest. That Saturday after is the weirdest feeling.
oh, it's
Knowing that how much work you put into it and all that.
Mhm.
it's a little
So-
different. It's a little different. Like, say if you're in a playoff game and you're against, like, going up a team, like, say if we were going up against Brock again, or going up against somebody where we didn't really have a chance. You know what I mean? And I mean, you can kind of mentally prepare yourself for, like, all right, let's go out one last hurrah, got on stuff. But when you're in games where you probably should have won, all that kind of stuff, it kind of makes it a little bit more bitter pill to swallow. So it's been tough. Our senior class bought into us. Obviously, new coaching staff. We had our trials and tribulations with the schedule. Uh, Made a run at the end to get in. Had a chance to win our first gold ball in football here, but just came up a little bit short. So now we're heading into off season, which
It's a plus.
yeah, plus
That's a plus. Especially growing pains. You hate to have them, and you were so close, but yet so far. But it's also big momentum. Your program's seen what success can do.
Oh, yeah.
Put you in ball games and help you do it out. So, but yes, it's tough. It's a weird feeling. You hate to say bye to your seniors like that.
Yeah.
Especially when where I am, been here for 4 years. So, I got here 4 years ago, and this was their last hurrah. For some of them, and some are going to go on play Saturdays. So it's a weird feeling. I think, Texas High, we upset them last year, and then we came this year. It's like they were at a personal vendetta for us,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, we're going to sneak up on them.
Oh no, which we weren't expecting to sneak up on anybody. But we spotted them a lot of points. We decided to wake up at a certain time, and they decided that we hit them with our best shot, and they hit us back with their best shot, and ended up being too much for us. But our kids battled and fought, and we always mentioned that we haven't put a full 4 quarters to all 3 phases of the game together, and that was to me that was the biggest difference of this year, was we never put a full game together, and if we did, we would have been more successful, but we never did. So that it's tough, But shout out to old Lubbock Roosevelt and Cletus.
Yep.
Keep
Shout
it
out to
up,
the
baby.
Eagles, baby.
We're all Eagles fans. We're all rooting for the Eagles. Hey, man, and I'm big on the X, and Lubbock Roosevelt got a shout out from the rivalry school that helped them win a playoff game.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Alu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? I've never seen that before. Lubbock Roosevelt and Idalou getting along,
I
for a
missed
little
that.
bit.
I don't know about getting along. You just
I missed
He
that.
said-
when you play our offense 3 weeks ago, it helps when you
Yes.
prepare for the
He
first
talks
round game.
about
When
Lubbock
they
Roosevelt giving him. Yeah.
yeah, because Spearman runs the flex bone, and he talked about we played Lubbock Roosevelt who's really good at it, so it helped us prepare for Spearman who runs the flex bone.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
That football's
Pretty
a little
cool.
bit different breed, baby.
yeah,
Wing tee,
it is.
slot tee, flex bone. It's a different breed. You can't practice it in a week. It's hard to see. So you at least get 14 points on somebody before they even know what happened to them.
Big fight there, Clete.
All right, what else you got, Josh? Let's go. This is interesting.
Well,
It's not-
obviously, I also looking ahead to second round games, but I didn't even honestly I haven't really looked to see who's playing and whatnot. I've been more concerned with obviously the Eagles, who they got, the Wellington Skyrockets, who they got.
Red Rockets, baby. Let's go.
Looking at some of the bigger games, maybe trying to make my way out maybe Thursday or Friday to see some local. If there's anything, if I feel motivated to get out and go watch these games live, or just turn on the Texan Live and just watch it at home.
The state championship game will be played Saturday at Ford Field or Ford Stadium, whatever it's called, at the Star, baby. That's what it's called. The Star. The playoff game, or the playoff game in round 2, the state champion will be crowned that night.
What classification?
5A,
Is that
D2, Melissa and Sock.
Ooh.
Winner of that game will go to the state championship.
Wow, second round game. Ooh,
Yes.
tasty.
That's the game, man. That place is gonna be packed, dude.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting to see.
That's gonna be the game.
If Melissa
I kept saying the team out of our region is gonna be the state champion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
What, region 2? Yeah. Any school at region 2 is gonna be the state champion.
Oh yeah.
No shot at anyone else, but region 2 has some cats.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But
I don't doubt that for a second. But it's gonna be interesting to see. Now we just get to Jack and I and Cobbs and Blaze too. We all get to be neutral bystanders as we watch everybody else continue their journeys here. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And what's exciting this year too, with being closer to Dallas, is that being able to, when they start playing those games at Cowboy Stadium,
you can go.
be able to go watch and stuff. So
We
Yeah.
make it a good
it'll be
time.
fun.
That
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night, we make it a fun time.
Let's go. Let's go.
I would take.
But
I would invite Clete, but it's a little
Yeah.
drive for him. It's a little drive for him.
A little bit.
hopefully Clete's there playing so we can go support him.
Let's
Be
go.
pretty
Let's go.
sweet.
Would be
Let's
sweet.
go. Yes, sir.
What else you got? What's next? What's next on your little list you got there, big
Well,
guy?
let's switch gears here and let's go. Let's talk about some college football, like because this is the one where I kind of have some of the most of the topic here, just in case
Really?
of what's
I'm
going
shocked.
on and all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, it's just for me, it's the more interesting of the sports going on right now.
100%.
But so obviously, right now they came off. I think yesterday's when they came out with the updated playoff ranking standard. So obviously, you had Georgia number one,
Dogs.
over which they got over Ohio State, which they've always, in my opinion, Georgia should always be ranked number one. Last week, the first time they came out with the rankings, I think they had Ohio State was one, which I just don't understand how they did that. But they have Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida, and Florida State is the top four. Which, and then of course you have Washington, Florida State,
Oh.
and then they have Washington,
Oh.
Oregon, Bama, and Texas on the outskirts looking in. So obviously, we all know that this is going to change pretty heavily for the most part in the next couple of weeks because obviously you still have Michigan and Ohio State to play each other. Georgia and Alabama are going to play each other in the SEC national the championship game there. Oregon
know
and
what?
Washington are probably going to play in the Pac-12 championship game again. Of course, Texas has got to survive the rest of their schedule. They can't just go into coast mode. You know what I mean? And same with Florida State.
I saw something interesting. It said, what could screw this whole thing up? Bama winning out and beating Georgia, Texas winning out, and Oregon winning out and beating Washington.
That is
Those three things happening can put a freaking monkey wrench in the whole college football playoff.
That's why I'm glad next year it's going to. That's why I'm glad it's going next year to the 12 instead of going in top four. So now you can include all these teams. You don't have to worry about a scenario where this team beats that team and all this kind of stuff. Because now, if you look at it,
strength of schedule.
6, 7, 8. There's 8 teams I just listed that could automatically probably be in that playoff next year, plus 4 others. So
I think they talked about what, six automatic bids and 6 at larges. I think is
it's
what
like the conference. It's like the conference winners, and then all the rest would be at large.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, like if Bama beats Georgia, Georgia's still going to get in. In my opinion, because it's their first loss. It's to Bama, but they're still one of the best teams in the nation. So obviously,
do you leave Bama out? Do you leave Bama out though if they beat Georgia?
That's the $1 million question.
Just because now, granted, their loss to Texas, they got their fucking ass kicked by Texas.
But it was week 2.
It was week 2 before Milroe kind of figured out who he was.
Yes.
And before that offense figured out who they were.
Yes.
I agree.
You're
But so for me, like what I can see happening, and like if I was gonna go and make predictions right now in these games, but like I think Georgia beats Alabama in SEC championship. Okay, so that eliminates Alabama from the playoff picture. I think Michigan beats Ohio State, so that eliminates Ohio State from the playoff picture. I think FSU goes through and wins the ACC, and I think Oregon wins the rematch over Washington. Okay, so now that leaves you with Georgia, Michigan, FSU, Washington, and then does Texas get left out?
Yep.
I hope.
Yep.
I hope so.
It
Should have
does.
got beat by OU. Take care of business. This won't. And we wouldn't be having. Oh, really? You take care of business against Oklahoma.
Oregon has one loss.
Hmm?
Oregon has a loss. What makes their loss not as worthy as Texas's loss?
So, like, if you go out for the scenario I
Because
just
I
gave
think
out, you would have
Washington's a better team than Oklahoma.
fair point.
But But
I
Oklahoma's
think
also a
Oregon.
pretty
I
good
think
But then the whole argument of that number 4, who the fourth is going to be all over again. Because in that scenario I gave y'all, you'd have an undefeated Georgia, undefeated Michigan, undefeated Florida State. Now you're looking at that fourth seed team going to be either a 1-loss Washington, a 1-loss Oregon, or a 1-loss Texas, or a 1-loss Ohio State.
Does it? Then it doesn't. I mean, you also got to put one loss Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
So that's four 1-loss teams
Mhm.
for one spot.
Mhm.
Then it matters like the rate of the loss or strength of schedule. That's like the whole thing. The whole thing is like
it's like college basketball. Who's lost? Do you have how many quadrant 1 wins do you have?
yeah,
How
which
many
is the bullshit.
how many quadrant 1 losses?
Yeah.
So this loss in
October.
November, freaking October, is better than the loss in the freaking conference
November.
tournament.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? But I mean, am I
Yes,
wrong?
you're right. I mean, that's
That's the
exactly
same
what.
shit college basketball deals with.
And it's a load. It's a load. Like, okay, 4 teams. 4 teams. Sometimes you get a fair shake and get it, but say how those other 4, any of those losses are still could be or can be comparative to one of the losses. So Washington and Tech and Oklahoma. So Washington beat Oregon. OU beat Texas. Right. So those 2 teams can compare and probably play each other, and it'd be a hell of a game, right?
I agree.
Conspiracy theory.
What's that?
You ready for it?
Let's hear it.
Do now I doubt they do this, but does the selection committee look at eyeballs on TVs?
Oh yeah.
What team is going to bring the most eyeballs to the playoff? It's probably going to be Texas. Of
But
those 4,
Yep.
it's probably going to be the
You're exactly right.
the T suckers.
That's
But
exactly right.
here's I would counter out with this. So like
Oh,
say
counter. Here, let's go.
let's
Get
go.
us.
Okay.
Get us, Floyd.
So let's say Georgia wins, so they stay undefeated. So
Okay.
they're number 1. Michigan wins out. They're undefeated. They go in number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State wins out. They go
Number
in
3.
number 3.
Mhm.
Washington wins out, goes undefeated. For me, they have to go for it over a
Oh yeah,
1-loss.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yes, an undefeated team to me automatically goes
I think what's
Agree
over
with
a
that.
one-loss team.
I think one thing that's going to what could potentially screw Washington is if they lose to Oregon. So the
Yeah.
same top 3 occur, but they lose to Oregon, and then that now opens the door for Texas to go over them.
Agree with that. But you also got to remember what if Bama beats Georgia?
All right, then you got scenario
Yeah.
882.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have
Yes,
you're
but
gonna have
yes,
2 SEC teams in there. Now?
that's what I'm saying. But I agree. I like what Josh just said. All undefeated teams, but that still leaves would Washington State to Oregon knock them automatically out?
I think it definitely puts their chances of making it. It definitely hurts. Like
This
obviously, if they beat Oregon, it's 100% they're in. But I think if they lose to Oregon, now you're basically going to be. I don't want to say like playing Russian roulette, but now you're putting it in the committee's hands as to whether you go on or you go
this
home.
is when you wish. This is when you wish you should have the BCS computer that could spit out
The top
its
4.
top 4
Yes.
and see if it matches up with the freaking selection committees.
So right now, and what
Also
more of your
depends on how that
story?
Oregon game goes.
The more of the story is, if you're any of those 3 teams, you better hope, pray to the almighty football gods that you win out.
Yes.
Or
Also, too,
your playoff chances are going to go to those bottom 5, 6, 7, 8.
yes. What's also
Mhm.
going to play an impact, and we've seen it before, right? And especially in the BCS era and all that kind of stuff, is how these games play out. So, say, okay, the top 3 go, they make it through. Georgia, Michigan, FSU go through. If Washington gets absolutely hammered by Oregon and Texas beats the brakes off of whoever else, Texas is in. You know what I mean? If
Agreed.
Mich- you know what I mean? If it's a close game, I don't know. I think that makes it hard on the committee because the first time they played, it was a close game.
Who
So if they play
who
again,
would be the second Big 12 team? Is Texas and Oklahoma
No,
rematch?
it's K-State.
Who is it? K-State.
at one
I
point, it was
believe.
Oklahoma State, wasn't it?
Oh, it might
Yeah.
be Oklahoma State. It might be Oklahoma State because they beat Oklahoma. Because Bedlam was huge for that reason.
Yeah, but
So
the
it
thing
might be
that hurt
Oklahoma State.
the thing
But
that hurt
Oklahoma State lost the next week.
Yeah, I was about to say the biggest thing that hurt the Oklahoma State was then they got freaking trounced by Central Florida.
Let's see.
Oh,
I don't know. Well, because Oklahoma only has one Big 12 loss, don't they?
that's Bedlam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But then they lost again. Oklahoma has 2 losses. Right now it's Oklahoma. Or right now it's Texas, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma, and Kansas State.
Are Oklahoma and OK State both at
Oklahoma State is 5-2. Oklahoma is 5-2. Overall,
their other-
Oklahoma is 8-2. Oklahoma State is 7-3. They lost the non-conference game at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so Oklahoma lost
To
to
who?
Oklahoma State, and who else did they lose to? Big 12.
They lost the team the next week. I'm checking. They lost to
Kansas State.
it's Oklahoma. What the heck, man? Pull it up.
I don't remember because I think they almost lost to UCF, but they came back and
They lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State.
Kansas.
They lost to Kansas 38-33 and lost.
That's I remember that game.
Yeah.
That's right.
But let's
It
look
was
at
it was in Kansas, right?
yes. But look
That's
at
when
this
the
game.
KU students tore down the goalpost and threw it in the
Yes.
freaking.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
interesting. You know who Oklahoma State lost to?
It was UCF.
Their
wasn't
conference, UCF.
They lost to UCF, and their non-conference was South Alabama.
Oh, that's not. That's that quadrant 4 loss right there.
They
quad
lost to
four-
South
quad
Alabama
four loss.
30.
That's quad 4 loss. Automatic. Hey.
33
Quad
to
for
7.
loss is not gonna.
But you know
Do
what I
anything
can
for
also
you.
see happening is that OK State or Oklahoma or some of these schools gets into that Big 12 championship game and they beat Texas. Texas gets all this hype going into it, thinking, "Hey, they win, they're in the playoffs," and they come out with a dud and lose, and it's just like, "Oh, there you go, Texas is back to be in Texas."
You know the funny thing is, I'm gonna take a jab at old Clete here. Texas is more relevant than the Aggies right now.
Oh, speaking about the
Who
Aggies,
would have guessed that?
Speaking about the Aggies, I'll be
made a little move on Sunday.
made a little move, and I honestly will say I was surprised they did it this year, that they pulled the trigger this year. But they waking up Sunday morning to see that Jimbo Fisher was in the process of getting fired. Everybody started throwing out the figures, 76.7 or something like that $1 million.
So
buyout.
here's what you got to understand. Get this. He gets
Within 30 days.
19. He gets 19 million by
Within 30 days or something like that.
within 30 days. Then gets another 7.5, 8 within the next 60 days. No, 120 days.
Yes. And then for the
Then
next
he'll
8
get
years.
paid. Then he'll get paid $7 million until 2032 not to coach Texas A&M. And if he gets a job,
He still gets paid.
he still gets that $7 million a year. There's
You know
no
what-
void in that contract. So here's what two things. Here's what I told our softball coach at Roosevelt. One, I want to be so good at my job that when I get fired, I don't have to do shit all and get paid $7 million not to do my job. I want to be so good I get paid big money not to do it.
Or so good at cheating the system. Having
Okay.
a contract guy write your contract where you
Second
can still
thing,
get paid.
Or just take advantage of a very desperate university.
Good on his agent. Good on
Way to
Jimbo's
take. They did a great job of taking advantage of a situation when they hired him.
Oh, 100%.
When they were saying,
No,
hey,
well,
we
the original
we
contract
are-
wasn't bad. It's after the 2020 year when they went like 9-1 is when they A&M went doubled down on Jimbo and gave him like a 10-year, like a 8-year extension on that thing, and that's when they paid him a lot more money. Gotcha, bitch. It's like the Dave Chappelle. Gotcha, bitch.
Took advantage of the situation.
Oh, 100%. I don't blame Jimbo at all.
No.
Get on him.
No.
You got to take advantage of what you got.
Yeah. Now I will say, not to, because I've read a little bit more about it, because it's been, it was an interesting story I read, but throughout his career, he was always kind of known as the quarterback whisperer. But like, you go back and look,
Awful.
you go back and look, he had pretty good success with Jamarcus Russell at LSU, right?
Awful.
Then he goes to Florida State and he's okay. And then he gets Jameis Winston, right? Jameis takes him to the promised land. After Jameis struggles at Florida State, leaves Florida State in a dire mess of poo-poo, which I wish it was. But
which it ain't no more.
No, it ain't no more.
Shout out Novell.
Yeah. He's doing great stuff down there. Can't fault him. Comes to A&M. He has the benefit of the doubt of having Kellen Mond to ride on.
Mond,
excuse me. To ride on, okay, and have
2 years
of success. But then after that, not able to find a quarterback. And I think obviously that's the biggest downfall. Like, I think if A&M were to find somebody that could be a consistently good quarterback for them,
the crappy things is like this year, the Wigman kid.
He's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
So you really don't know what you had with him.
Yeah. And it always seemed to be kind of like his curse was that either he had good quarterbacks, but they always got hurt, or he had Who's that on? Is that Jack?
I think so.
I think that's you, Jack. Okay, good.
Good. I can.
Yeah, I can hear now. What's going on?
Great podcast.
Oh, they found us. They found us. They knew we were talking about them. They found us. Oh my god!
Don't talk.
I don't know. Something's going on. Reset that mic real quick.
Unplug and plug it back in.
Yeah. Sorry for the viewers. We're having some technical difficulties there, but yeah. But like I was saying, like if they found good quarterbacks, they always got hurt, or they would get these star-studded kids to come in. Those kids would never pan out, or they would just transfer out and go find somewhere else.
Well, I think what also hurt A&M a few years ago is when Venables got the OU job, and the strength and conditioning coach Jerry Schmidt left A&M and went back to Oklahoma.
Yeah, another one that hurt.
I think that was a huge deal.
Another one that hurt was Elko leaving. He was really good for them, and
higher Elko, higher.
It's gonna be interesting. So
big baby.
Big Mike Elko fan.
Yeah, so obviously we've had and then of course on the same day, not as big news, but we had Mississippi State, right? Got rid of Zach Arnett. You had Boise State get rid of their head coach. And
good on Mississippi State though, realizing hey, this is not really working too well. Pretty good DC, but not really working too well as our head coach. Rip the Band-Aid off, start over.
I think some of the stuff, like when he first began, the way
it was a leech deal
done. Well, how some of the stuff was done when he took over, like how he treated some of the leech guys. I was kind of reading some of that and kind of how that transition occurred. It didn't really kind of, it kind of rubbed some people the wrong way, and then of course they go out and season ahead. So I think it's kind of like we said, it's kind of them an opportunity to reset and kind of be able to go out and have a coaching search and find somebody instead of just elevating from there. So that was interesting. It was really ironic that both teams played each other the day before, and then of course the next day
both got fired.
The one that's surprising is Andy Avalos.
Yeah, me too. I was kind of
he's been there
reading a
with 2
lot on
years,
X about that. His second or third year
and
there.
they got a win. They got and added a new win every year, right?
Yeah, like he had success. It's not like they were struggling, so that was kind of surprising to see them cut ties there. And then the one that kind of it hasn't officially happened yet. I think it's going to, especially after this week. But like
Chip
the
Kelly.
the Chip Kelly one.
Chippy boy.
But then the more I read about it, the more it kind of makes sense for UCLA because I haven't realized, but he's been there for a hot minute. I think this is his 6th season, and
Mm-hmm.
there hasn't been much progress. You know, I mean, he hasn't really had that Oregon success. But to be honest, ever since he's left Oregon, he hasn't been able to replicate that success in the NFL nor at UCLA. So I think UCLA, especially with them about to jump to the Big Ten, I think it's kind of an opportunity for them to kind of also kind of hit that reset button, go out there, find somebody that's going to maybe take them to the next level. But
Mm-hmm.
they have a pretty good
Well,
team at UCLA. So
it also doesn't help that Oregon has figured it out.
oh yeah,
Washington has figured it out.
they've made some really good coaching.
Texas has figured it out.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. All these schools that have gone from the promised land now back to the hunting ground of the promised land. You know, does that make that makes sense?
Yeah.
Like, they'd probably be okay at UCLA and stay with them, but you also mentioned the Big Ten. You know, like Michigan's back to being Michigan. You know,
Right.
So
it didn't help too that the last couple of weeks at UCLA they lost to both Arizona schools, which Arizona is actually pretty good this year.
Arizona's getting back, baby.
Arizona State's not as good, so but that was a double whammy for him, is losing back to those schools. That just you know, expedited the that firing.
Okay, that's who that is. Okay.
But here's the next question. Okay, so we
Yes.
kind of have a feeling that Chip Kelly's probably the next on the chopping block. After him, who do you think is the next head coach whose seat is definitely the hottest? Is next going to be what they call in European soccer? Who's the next coach going to be sacked?
That's a good question.
I'll throw out the first name for you just to help out. Dave Aranda, Baylor. Is
No,
a name I've seen.
I don't think Dave Aranda's gonna. It's a possibility.
That's a name I've seen thrown out there.
I would say someone like Click. Even come on, work with me here.
I'm trying to think too.
I've also seen Billy Napier there at Florida.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I could see that because you know what he's doing at Florida. Who they beat? Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Good job, but
I think they've lost every game since.
Yes, here's one you won't think of,
Give me
or may not think of.
Okay, let's play a game here. What's the conference?
SEC.
Okay.
West.
Arkansas.
Sam Pittman.
I've heard that one, but you also know when you get the AD's approval, you don't last much longer.
Yeah, but sometimes I always feel like in that line of work, you got to take that kind of stuff with a grain of salt because, like, if they go on and finish a year with ugly losses, that could probably quickly change it too. So
yeah,
I agree.
But
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When the
Pittman's
AD's
been there
literally 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just God. Pittman would be one. I'm looking at BetMGM released like these odds on
I saw something.
What like
even
college
Mario
football.
You're supposed to come up with the dome, bro. Don't be cheating.
Oh, I'm cheating like a son of a bitch right now, boy.
Oh, I know you are.
I saw another one. It's not as big, but the guy at Minnesota could possibly be on the chopping block.
PJ Flick. I said that. I said that.
The Colts.
Oh, I didn't.
Row the boat.
I said that. Y'all looked at me like I was crazy.
I didn't. I heard you say something. I just didn't understand what you're.
I said PJ Flick is the one. Okay. To me, that's one I said. I said, "Come on now, work with me."
He's been there a while, hasn't he?
Yes. Yeah. That's one I said.
But they're not very good this year.
Iowa.
I don't know. They're actually pretty good. I think they're like 7.
No, they've been freaking solid, man. Yeah. They've won under that guy. They're boring as shit to watch.
Right.
But they
maybe
win,
even
they win.
What about
they win football games?
Now, this one might be next year. He could be put on a hot seat depending on how well they do. But what about was it Shane Beamer there at South Carolina?
Oh,
Yeah.
Beamer ball, baby.
They're not having a good year.
I guess it
start to
depends
hide
on how he looks against Clemson. I guess
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
those are just some of the names out there. That was the thing off the top of my head I could think. Everybody else is some of those I think that are gonna probably
They're like
meet the
they're
top
like
end.
new. They're newer hires, right? Like a year or two.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think some of the guys we say later on are gonna be guys we're like, okay, yeah, we not necessarily
Who-
big name guys, but
What's the guy at Tennessee? What's his name?
Josh Hupel or something like that.
Hypel.
Heupel.
Hypel.
He'll be all right.
If now I know you will, but eventually at Tennessee you got to win.
I saw a
You
funny
at least
tweet.
got to win the
Rocky
East.
Top.
I saw a funny
Rocky
thing
Top,
on the X earlier, and it was the handshake after the game between Tennessee and Missouri. The Missouri head coach.
Yeah, what
Pretty
they
funny.
said to each other.
Yeah. Well, what he said to the Tennessee guy, he said something about like this is how we take care of business or something like that. It was pretty
Hell
because
yeah.
they got some bad blood there. The past couple years Tennessee's whooped up on them, and then Missouri went in there and
Oh, I
beat the
got one.
brakes off them.
Tigers fight.
I got one for you.
Okay.
If Ohio State gets beat by Michigan again, is Ryan Day on the hot seat? Because
Oh,
that's the game.
that's the game, man.
That's the game. If you do not beat Michigan, or if you're at Michigan, if you don't beat Ohio State, your ass is fired.
Right.
That's the game.
If you're
And
at
that's-
Ohio State and you don't beat Michigan consistently, your ass is fired.
Right. And that's the game. The last 2 years has been the reason as to why Michigan's gone to the playoff and Ohio State.
100%. So does Ryan Day get the hots, or does the seat start to warm up if he gets beat by Michigan?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think his seat starts to get.
You're
No, I
welcome,
don't think
Jack. That was a good one.
I don't.
thought that was
That's a good one. I don't think he gets put. I don't think his seat starts to get to the point where he has to worry about getting fired. But I think going into
Ooh.
next year, he's going to have the most pressure he's ever had on him at Ohio State.
Dabo.
I think Dabo has enough goodwill built up at Clemson to have the season he has now.
Buy the stock.
And I think he's just biding his time to when Saban leaves. He takes over.
he gets a
Alabama.
He's Alabama's successor.
Oh,
Yep, 100%.
Sure.
100%.
He biding his time. And
Venables.
Venables
maybe
is fine.
more.
He's fine.
Well, but here's the thing, though. But here's the thing with Venables. Like last year, I don't think they were great. They were kind of talking about, oh, why we hire this guy. This year kind of got turned around a little bit. Granted, they beat Texas, which, again, that's the big one. You got to beat Texas. When you're at Oklahoma, when you're at OU, you got to beat Texas. Gundy.
I think Gundy's fine, too.
I think
But is his stay starting to get a little stale at
I think it is. I think it is, but
he's won so much there, and he's helped put that program into such a national prominence that it's going to take at least a two or three season arc for him of bad teams to get fired.
Hey, Josh, Mac Brown won at Texas, and they fired his ass.
Yeah,
well,
but
it's like
Bobby Bowden won all at Florida State, and they asked him to sit down.
This is what I'm saying. For Gundy, it would have to be 2 years of not making bowls, like a 6-6 record for Oklahoma State in 1 year could be fireable for them at Oklahoma State, right? But right now he's 7-3, which is a good season for Oklahoma State. But then next year you come around and you're 5-3. Then your next year you're 4-6. Yeah, you're fired.
I got one. I got another one for you.
Wait, time out.
Right.
Let's go. I'm gonna go back real quick because you were talking about you brought up Mac Brown and you brought up Bobby Bowden. Okay?
Bowden. Put some fucking respect on his name.
I apologize. But yeah, it's hard to for me to it's Oklahoma State and Texas are not necessarily in the same category in terms of pedigree and stuff like that. But here is Mac Brown's last. Okay, so they won it all in 05, and then they went 10-3, 10-3, 12-1, 13-1. Okay, good as gold. He had a double-digit win for a long time. Then he went 5-7, 8-5, 9-4, 8-5.
Mhm.
So now, for most people, that's pretty good. Like Gundy at Oklahoma State,
Not
that's
at
probably
Texas.
pretty good. But
That's good.
Texas, it doesn't. That doesn't meet the standard.
You talked about it in the beginning of the podcast. Market.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how they finished in the also with those records. How they finished in the Big Ten. They finished sixth, tied for sixth, tied for third, tied for second. So his last 4 years at Texas, not only did they not do well record wise, but they didn't win the Big 12,
Average of fourth place, about.
give or take. Yeah.
That's about the average. Is about fourth in the Big 12.
Oklahoma's been averaging second and third for the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so let's go.
Okay, real quick, Jack. While Curtin's looking this up. How long does the AD at Tech give McGuire?
They're going to tell him to fire some coordinators before they fire him.
Right, but
They're,
if he
they're
does,
2 games away. They're 2 games away from being bowl eligible, and that's all.
I
Tech
know,
fans want,
but you
baby.
know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying.
I get what
After
you
last year's stuff, and this year they just look awful.
drank the Kool-Aid.
They look awful this year.
I would say,
And Texas AD is not afraid to make moves. That's the thing.
I agree. I think,
Which I respect the hell out of that.
I think no bowl this year, but bowl should make a bowl. Bowl eligible this year, and then just making bowl eligibility next year. Joey's on the hot seat. He's going to have some come to Jesus talks. Especially that's 3 years in a row or 2 years with Joey that just becoming bowl eligible. Tommy Tuberville got bowl eligible his first year, you know.
Right.
All right, so here's the second part of what you say with
Bobby Bowden, baby.
with Bowden here. Okay, his last 4 years at Florida State. We can include the last 5 if you want, but let's do last 5. 8-5, 7-6, 7-6, 9-4, 7-6. Pretty decent for other schools. But not schools.
Yeah,
That's
schools
terrible
not
for
Florida
Florida State.
It's like, so for him, like looking at it, it's kind of cool. Like when you look at this stuff and it breaks it down, but like he was you kind of realize like in the 90s,
dominant.
Florida State was dominant, like double-digit wins every year, 1 to 2 losses max. Start of 2000s, 8-4, 9-5. He got double-digit wins 1 year in 2003. That was it. Everything else was either 9-3, 8-4, 7-6.
It's
So he
good.
kind of, great career, but obviously for a school like that, it kind of like it gets. I agree. It gets to the point where, yeah, you might have success. Gundy might go 7-4, 8-5, but I feel like at schools like that, it's more appropriate because they're consistently winning more games than they lose. If that makes sense. So it's easier for them to stick around it with every other one. It's like if
you
that's
gotta
like
think. I know, T-Boo Pickens donates a lot of money to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Get that. But they don't have the Oklahoma State compared to Texas, compared to Alabama, compared to Clemson, Miami, in terms of money put into the program and expectation. It's nowhere close.
yeah. Well, Miami recently just started pumping money back.
That's what I'm saying. And I think
About
Miami's
damn
gotten
time.
better. Right.
About damn time.
But traditionally, those programs, the potential to win, right?
Yes.
It's the potential to win.
And this is just a little small bias comment here. I'll say this: if Miami was a public school, they would be a contender every year to be. They would still be an elite program, in my opinion, and not be a private school. Because I think that's one thing that's hurt them.
Is it their standards?
But just
their academic standards. That
the private school, but the school itself is so much smaller than a school like Florida State. Like they don't have.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I guess I never realized. I knew it was private, but I thought it was like Notre Dame big.
No, there's like I'd have to look at.
I know they're a Catholic. I know they're a Catholic school.
But like, their student body is not as big as what other schools have. They don't have the same. Well, now they do in terms of resources, money wise. Like recently they've gotten, but in the past they didn't have the financial resources like Texas or like US. Like USC is a big Notre Dame. Those are big private schools that get a bunch of money, right? A&M has a bunch of money. Alabama has a bunch
Yes.
of money. Miami's never really had that. They had their success uh, from just the area that they're in, talent wise. But then,
Well, what did Jimmy Johnson say? We're going to build a wall around from South Florida all the way to
Yeah.
Tampa, basically.
yeah,
We're going to get every kid in South Florida.
yeah. So Miami has a little over 19,000 students at their school.
Really?
Florida
And Tech gets
State,
what, Jack? 40 about?
Yeah.
About 40,000 students a year come to Tech.
Florida State has 45,000 students. Let's go Texas A&M just to give you a reference.
A&M is probably in that like 40,000, I bet. Close to it.
In terms, okay, so it says here students 72,000, undergraduates 57,000
I believe it.
at A&M.
I believe it.
Obviously that stuff plays a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
That's a lot of peoples. That's a
lot of
lot of
people-
cheddar.
A lot of cheddar.
Well,
a
that's
lot
the thing to
of
like,
donors.
That's a lot of
and
cheddar.
that's the thing. Like here in Lubbock, like when moving weekend happened,
Yeah.
you could tell the increase in traffic in Lubbock.
So,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the traffic's terrible there.
oh,
Yeah,
sure.
hard.
Let's look at Tech.
But you could tell like there's just more cars on the road
Yeah.
right now.
Tech has a total of 40,000 students. 32,000 are undergraduates.
Yep. I can
Yep.
feel it. Yep. That's an interesting stat you taught us about Miami, Joshua. Thank you for that, my friend.
Yeah. Now I'm not going to be a fool and be like, oh, it's the only reason why they can't compete. Because when they were pretty good, it was,
They could compete with
when they were-
anybody.
when they were good, it kind of was almost like they had that hidden treasure of South Florida and all that talent. But as we got into the early 2000s and the technology
People
boom,
started-
at least, and people
People
started
started
in
going to
Texas,
South Florida.
and more eyes started to get there, and Miami had the success, and like, hey, look at our kids, they're from here, and so everybody else was like, oh, let's go there, and they started picking kids from. It's always been kids have always come from Texas, California, and Florida, right? For the big three when it comes to recruits and stuff like that. And so when Miami is good, it just happened to be that people went and got kids from South Florida. It was the same thing that happened when Texas was really good. Where did people go get kids from? Texas. 'Cause that's where majority of the kids from. Like when Nebraska was good, where did they go get kids from? Texas.
Texas,
Like when
California.
USC was good, where did people go get kids from? California. You know
California.
what I mean? So look at nowadays.
Who are they getting kids from now? Alabama and Georgia are always good. Where are they getting kids from now? No, I'm getting
Alabama
kids
and
from
Georgia.
Georgia and Alabama.
Florida, Texas,
Huh?
Florida,
Well-
Georgia.
Well, okay, I will say this. So Alabama and Georgia talent has started to increase with the rise of Bama and Georgia dominance. Like if you go through and look at the recruiting ranks, those states are now starting to
Why?
be more
Why?
because those teams are winning.
Why?
Can I answer that, Jack? I think I know.
Go ahead.
When Texas A&M entered the SEC, it made it a lot easier to go to get a Texas kid.
And they are what?
I know that.
These players are, when they win, they are doing some celebratory things and making some celebratory babies and staying in these states.
Oh yeah, they're
And they are-
producing and staying there. Yeah.
They are Johnson the second, Johnson the third, Washington the first.
I got you.
That's what I'm saying. There you go. They're staying in these states once they win. They're doing some celebratory things, and they're staying in those states. But originally, like you said, they are coming from Texas, California, Florida.
Right.
Hmm.
No, I
There
agree.
you go.
That's
There's a
good point.
little,
That's a good point.
what is it, human geography? Is that what that would be called there, history
Yeah.
folks?
Yeah, but it also goes back into those like if if Texas and got back on the map and started dominating, then people would be like Texas recruiting would be. It's never died down, if that makes sense. But it would be those guys would be the premier guys to go get. Same with kids from Louisiana. It's just all
Grade
kind of goes.
A.
This all goes in a cycle. Now, every year you're gonna get elite kids from those states. Now,
Oh,
every
yeah.
once in a while you get those Midwestern states or up there with Ohio and them that produce stuff, but majority of them are gonna come from the big three. So
Agreed.
Georgia,
What else you got
get it.
before we call it a night?
Yeah, well, the other thing I had was I was gonna try to say like, hey, let's predict these current openings and who's gonna fill them, but I feel like that's easier said than done because one, we know this coaching carousel is gonna continue to go, and it's gonna then what occurs is that all these firings occur, and it kind of gets to the part where the
Mhm.
firings stop, and then one guy gets hired, and then there's a domino effect. So
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to be like, all right, who does A&M go get? Because we've talked about this kind
I
of
can
briefly
tell you who
before.
I want, who I love for us to go after.
Well, you want Mike Elko, but like I've seen like Lane
No.
Kiffin's name
Yeah,
thrown in there.
Elko be nice. Lanning from Oregon.
He's not leaving Oregon,
Yeah.
bro.
I understand. I said my wish list though, man.
Right. No, I
But
totally.
again,
Santa, give me Dan Lanning, Santa.
but here's the thing though. His buyout's $20 million. There's an Aggie so they'll write that fucking check.
Bro.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
I know he's
Money
not
talks.
leaving Oregon, and I know
Money
A&M's
talks.
not going to win. They're not going to win a bidding war with Phil Knight. I get that.
It's
But
not even the
can
bidding war that's going to stop him. He's
Right.
going to have to go. He's built something in Oregon. He's going to have to leave Oregon to build something else when he's already kind of built something.
The
in Oregon.
resources are there. The resources are there at A&M to win.
I know they are. It's the Taj
But so
Mahal of
they're
Texas. I'm telling you, but he's already built something
but they're
in
also
Oregon. But he's going to have to leave and build it again.
he also has resources at Oregon to win. Okay,
I
now I know
understand.
Oregon's
Yeah,
not
that's what
the
I'm saying.
SEC, but they're going to the Big Ten, which is going to give them a big market.
Right. Do I think he'll leave? No, I don't.
Yes.
But that's a name I've seen consistently is
Now,
Lanning.
let's
Granted, he's the hot name right now
yeah.
too.
Now let's break this down a little bit here for Mr. Lanning here.
He's young.
Okay. So the pros of it. So like, say if he does start to seriously consider A&M, let's look at the pros of it. One is just like you said, A&M, tons of resources, some of the best facilities in the country, the ability to go recruit some of the best kids in the nation. Jimbo's kind of laid that foundation in terms of being
Mhm.
able to recruit and be one of the top schools when it comes to getting their top recruits. And he's going to go right back to playing in the SEC. Now, does he want to? I don't know. I know he's a competitor.
He
I
came
know
from
he's a
Georgia,
competitor.
didn't
Huh?
He's a
Yeah, he
Georgia
was at
guy.
Georgia. I know he's a
Right.
competitor.
Was there
He would probably
DC? OC?
Yes.
DC.
DC?
He would probably
Okay,
love
thank
to
you.
go and compete against Kirby and compete against Saban and all those guys he's done before. But at the same time, too, he can stay at Oregon, have all the nice things that he can get at A&M, but having a little bit easier path to success to get to the college
The
football.
Big Ten's easier.
Well, like I was just when I
I mean,
I'm
I
the Big
mean,
12 right now, but the Big I would
the
say
Big Ten's easier. I mean, I don't. The only thing that helps him right now with that is travel. The travel from the West Coast to
yeah.
the
Okay,
middle of the country,
let's
or
break
the
this down now.
West Coast to Rutgers.
Okay, name all the let's oh okay, so let's if we were to compare the Big 10 and the SEC, which conference would you rather go in and go head to head with those teams?
Oh, I can tell you right now, I would rather go freaking Big Ten because I only would have to do with Ohio State and Michigan.
And that's if you have to play those teams because there's going to be so many of them. There's not going to be a guarantee where you have to play both those teams and Penn State. I mean, you might get two of the three, but you're not going to have to play all three. Now, same in the SEC, you're not going to have to play a Georgia and an Alabama and stuff. But for me, there's better competition in the SEC because now you're adding Texas and Oklahoma to the mix, right? Which are two
LSU's
pretty.
there.
You got LSU, you got Georgia, you got Alabama. Okay,
Tennessee.
if somebody could ever right the ship of Florida be right back
Yes.
up there. Okay, you got Tennessee that's on the up. That's 7 teams right there. You got
Kentucky.
Missouri
Kentucky's
team.
no slouch under Stoops.
Yeah, Kentucky's pretty solid. You got an uprising Missouri team that's pretty good playing under whatever his name.
Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin is going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, so it's definitely tougher there. I would rather, like you said, I'd rather go through the Big Ten and take my chances against an Ohio State or Michigan than go through the SEC gauntlet.
That's so the names I've seen so far with that job was Lanning, DeBose at
Washington.
Washington.
I've seen Lane.
Lang,
Lane
where's
Kiffin.
Where's
Ole Miss.
oh yeah, Kiffin. I saw
Yeah.
that. The guy at Kansas State that was at Northern or North Dakota
Oh,
State.
yeah.
Gilman.
You know what yes. Him.
I've also seen the Kansas coach too, Lance
Leopold?
Leopold.
Leopold, baby.
See,
Seen his
the only
name.
thing the only problem I
I've
have
even
with him,
seen Cliff's name on a list.
I have two.
I think Cliff's name's always going to be thrown in nowadays.
Yeah, I have two.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the guy from Kansas goes and gets the Mississippi State job.
I wouldn't be either.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
He's just so old.
I could see that too. You
But
know
I think
who's
Mississippi State would be a good job for him.
You know what? To be honest with you, Clete, if you think if Texas A&M has a person to steal on any team right now, they can steal anybody. They can steal our boy and bring him back to the South, and that's Lincoln Riley, baby. They can go steal Lincoln Riley from USC and bring him back to Texas.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Give him a defense; he'll be all right.
I'm about to say
he's the quarterback whisperer, man.
You gotta play defense though in the Southeastern Conference.
Bring him a defense, man.
Decent. You gotta play decent defense.
Well, I would say A&M's defense has been better than anything he has gotten at Oklahoma or USC.
I like Elko. Big fan.
Why are you changing subjects, man?
But I'll say this, and I was listening to a podcast earlier this week, and they made a good point. Elko has turned down a lot of jobs because he's just happy where he's at.
Yeah.
Elko turned down the Temple head coaching job to keep being the DC at Wake Forest because he's happy where he's at. Another name we didn't mention, Jeff Traylor. I've seen being mentioned at. I would like to see him have a little more skins on the wall, like give a few more, but being a Texas high school coach, I'll be rooting for him. He's one of us, so I wouldn't hate it.
I don't think he's a big enough name for what
that's the thing too.
The name
it has to be a splash hire, or they promote Elijah Robinson. He's the interim right now. Kids love him. He's turned down a lot of jobs to stay at A&M.
I don't think.
Someone made a good point. Dabo was just a receivers coach at Clemson before he got the head coaching job.
Yeah, a little bit
Elijah
different.
Robinson,
a little bit different situation.
I know, but Elijah Robinson was just the D-line coach.
Yeah, but I agree with your take that A&M, like, they went out, made a big splashy hire with Jimbo. It's failed miserably. So now they kind of have that embarrassment. They got to have to live with the fact that, hey, they brought this guy.
What about Marcus Freeman, baby? Notre Dame. Cletus was on to something. He was their position. He was their coordinator and became their head coach. And Notre Dame's worked out pretty good so far.
I agree.
Yeah,
but
I think a hot commodity that we haven't been talking about, that their names haven't been floating around as much as they should, and I think it's Florida State's coordinators.
That's true, or even their head coach.
Yes,
I have seen Norvell kind of his name out there.
I've seen their DC at one thing, but I did say this.
Oh, Georgia's DC was another one I saw.
I said Georgia's DC and Florida State's DC. Those are the two names that I think are going to be picked up before Dan Lanning. My man.
Oh, those two are definitely getting a job somewhere. One of them at least, sure.
Yeah, and the bottom line with A&M is, yes, you're paying Jimbo $76 million, basically, but I mean that's going to factor into, A&M has a lot of money, but I mean, so you're telling me, say Lanning's buyout's $20 million, you're paying Jimbo $19 December 1 and another $7 million by January 1. So you're going to spend around $40 or $50 million within 2 months.
Yeah,
I don't care how many resources you have. There's not many universities that have $40 million just laying around and saying, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And so that's going to factor in. I think money is going to be a big factor in because they're having to pay Jimbo's contract out.
I really
I don't think
that's why
they're not going to
Cletus
go for a big money guy, and Laney's going to cost a lot of money.
Listen,
and I think that's why Cletus's take is actually not bad.
Okay.
Because of the buyout. Because they can at least they can literally go out on a limb for 2 years with their guy they have on staff already.
Yeah.
And not pay him as much as they have to pay a big name guy like those guys to get them to Texas A&M. They could literally go a year or two seeing what he got.
Yeah.
And it could work out for him, and he could be the next Dabo, could be the next, these things. It could work out for him, or it could not work out for him. Like,
if it doesn't work out, you say thank you,
and
you go do a search again,
and we don't have to spend $80 million in less than 2 years.
Here's the thing they can do right here. Here's what.
Tell us, Beth.
I just had this
epiphany.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, we got you. Don't
yeah, I think sometimes I think about it, just it won't come.
Words, English
hard. If A&M was truly serious and they got all this money, okay, just say fuck it.
They are serious.
Just say fuck it. Go throw the kitchen sink at Dabo or Nick Saban and be done with it.
I jokingly,
I really thought you were going to say Urban.
I just thought no. I did say, hey, Clete, what did I tell you when it first was happening? I was like, if I was A&M, I'm the first person I'm calling is Urban Meyer.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
offering
everybody's call, baby.
No, but it's okay. But in the college game, now don't think it's time at Jacksonville. If you can get him, if he's willing to do it, right, and you can call him and he said yes, I'll come. And you look at his track record. If you're an A&M fan, you're way more excited about Urban coming to Aggie Land than Jimbo Fisher coming to Aggie, because you know for a fact that he is going to turn that program into win.
Here's the thing too. I made the comment in the office I made the comments in the office the other day about Art Briles, and Robinson said, hell, he couldn't be the freaking coordinator at Grambling before people bitched and complained about it.
Yep.
He could be on the sidelines to watch his son-in-law coach.
Yeah.
There has to be a program that's willing to say, he's our guy. Fuck it. If you don't like it, don't watch us. Don't care.
That's not
and I really think, and I'll say
the cojones and do that.
They don't.
A lot of people, and my last thought on this, a lot of people did not think Schlossnagle was going to leave TCU for A&M.
Oh,
a lot of people did not think, because he could have stayed at TCU the rest of his career and been just fine.
Money talks.
Oh, 100%. And playing in that league talks.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, anyways, overall, it's going to be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. It's not going to be anytime soon. Now, the common trend recently is that teams in these situations, like what A&M has done and what has Mississippi State and possibly UCLA, is that they get these firings, if you will, out early so they can get a new guy in to
save the recruit.
So save the recruiting class and get a head start on the spring, right? Instead of waiting until after signing day and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how fast this moves along for especially A&M, like because depending on how many other big time schools open up, obviously all eyes will be on A&M, and then once that occurs, then you'll have your domino effect. But it's the same thing, kind of like in
they'll have a coach by January.
Well, you gotta do it.
After their coach is going to be playing still, and he won't go to A&M
that's the thing.
after the bowl games.
You can't be in contract talks with a team
while
they're still coaching.
Yeah.
Now,
that's why I said January.
Yeah,
you're right.
But I've seen. I think the AD was the AD. I was reading something that they're trying to get this thing done by mid late December to try to save this transfer because the transfer portal is about to open up.
Well, there's a couple of things now in play when it comes to recruiting, because one, you have the early signing window, Okay, which a lot of schools try to get their kids into that one and not the traditional one to get it all
Mhm.
wrapped up in a bow tie. And then now the transfer portal is now set up to where it's open for a set period of time for like 30 days now. It's not open for the period it was beforehand. Now it's a quicker period. So now you're definitely going to have to want to get somebody in there to not only wrap up your current class, but then also hit that transfer portal. Because like what a lot of teams are doing now is they're hitting that transfer portal because what they have realized is that they can go out and get a kid that's produced for 2 or 3 seasons, put them on the field over an unproven 17 or 18 for the most part. You know what I mean? So
Sorry, we lost it. Another thing I saw, Dion.
yeah, Dion.
Freaking Stephen A. Smith the other day.
He's going to be linked to every big job. It's
Oh,
just,
100%.
Thanks to Colorado. Good job, Colorado.
yeah,
Look what you did.
I know. Yep, he's going to be always there. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's because, and then like, well, I also had a comment too on here was that it's funny how that happens, the domino effect and the coaching carousel and stuff. But what's going to happen here for us too in the land of Texas high school football
February.
with it being
Realignment.
realignment is
Going to happen. It's already happening, man.
I know,
It
I
is
know.
already freaking happening.
But it's going to explode
Blue-
tenfold.
Blue Ridge.
Is going to be every 2 years for people that don't here in Texas is realignment where schools can change districts and all this kind of stuff. This is where you're going to see 100+ schools have openings because coaches are going to leave to go to other schools or leave their current schools because they don't like their new districts or whatever the case may be. You're going to see a boatload of jobs and a boatload of coaches moving, and then that has a trickle down effect of other coaches and stuff.
That's true.
Very, it's kind of exciting to see all that take place, who goes where, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of
It is interesting to see.
it is very interesting. So, real quick, we can wrap it up here. I was going to talk about NFL, but we can talk about that next time because for the most part, NFL is NFL. Certain teams is surprising us. Obviously, the Lions, right? Shout out to the Lions.
Ooh.
CJ Stroud, baby.
And
CJ
Campbell.
Stroud having a phenomenal rookie year. And of course, some of the disappointments this year. Obviously, you can look at the Buffalo Bills.
The
Yeah, don't get me started. But
So-
for me, they're better than they were last year, so that's somewhat of an improvement. But
So here's the
still
thing.
not very good.
So I got a Sunday ticket this year to watch the Titans.
Yeah,
Bold strategy, cut.
And I'm wishing
waste of money now.
I did not get Sunday ticket to watch the Titans because I've got pissed off on Sundays now because I can watch them now and it's like, well, why the fuck am I watching them? They just
That's kinda
piss me
like-
off.
That's how
No.
I am with the Cowboys, dude.
That's kind of I hate saying that. Like when I don't watch the Rams, it doesn't ruin. Like of course I monitor on my.
It
phone,
doesn't
but,
ruin
like,
your Sunday.
as much, you know what I mean? But like when they're on prime time, like Sunday night or Monday night, and they just suck and get beat, it ruins my night. You know what I mean? Like and ruins
Who's
the
the
next
Sunday
morning.
night game this year, by the way, or this week? Who is the Sunday night game? I'm looking.
I don't know. I know the Monday night game is a good one.
Who's the
So
Monday night game?
Thursday we
Eagles and
got
Chiefs.
tomorrow we got the Bengals
Whoa.
and Ravens, and then we got Vikings and Broncos
Whoa.
Sunday night, and then Eagles and Chiefs Monday night.
Vikings, Broncos.
Vikings.
Eagles and Chiefs will be a good one on Monday.
Fuck.
That's who the Bills lost to on Monday too.
It was the Broncos, that's
Broncos.
right? Hey, the Broncos have been playing better football. If y'all haven't noticed,
I just want to know. I don't say it very often, but I told you so. But anyway, I digress.
you always.
No, I stop. I said I digress. We're gonna move on. I did say
So,
they'd
anyways.
get better.
Yep,
I
as
said
we
I
just-
did say I don't remember if it was on a podcast, but I did say the Broncos would struggle, but then they get rolling.
Yeah, that's true. You know what's crazy as we talk about all this now? Like our seasons, high school and college and NFL is like how fast they're going by. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
I was
high school
talking
season's fast
to
going by. College almost playoff time. They're halfway through. They're more than halfway through the NFL.
one of my kids during ninth period today, and they go, in 2 weeks where it's December 1st. They go, what? Go, yeah, Thanksgiving's next week. And the week after, the Friday after Thanksgiving is December 1st. We're in December. Then, like 3 weeks from there, we're off.
It's crazy. Have you seen the Christmas break this year is going to be weird as hell.
We get 3 weeks off.
Yo,
It's
really?
because-
You cocksuckers.
It's weird because the state championship game. Usually the state championship games that were off.
Yeah.
that
Right.
last week. No, we got a whole nother week.
Y'all too?
Yeah,
Bro, we go, yeah. I go, I
we
was
got
looking
that
at
week,
too.
and then we come back. We have the whole other week, and we're our last day's like the 21st. And then
Our last
the
day, I
next-
think, is the 20th.
Our
We, got
last
the
day's the
fir-
21st.
we go first 2 weeks, and then we're done for 3 again.
Like I was looking at too, it's like this is the first school I've been at where we went past December 15th, past the second week of December.
Yeah, ours is the 21st, and we go back the 6th or 7th of January.
We go back like the 10th, I think, of January.
Good time. Last thing here before we wrap it up, gentlemen. We briefly talked about it earlier. The NBA, obviously, it's still early.
Christmas songs. We're gonna scratch that. We'll go NBA later. Top 5 or your top 2 Christmas songs. Stop it. We'll talk NBA. NBA.
The only thing I was gonna say was the in-season tournament, how it's BS, but the only cool thing that's come out of it is the courts. That's the only thing I was gonna say.
Get on the courts are lame. Anyway, continue.
Two favorite Christmas songs. Okay.
Go, Clete, go.
I don't. God, let me think.
Shut up. No,
I don't know.
Don't be Grinches. 2 songs. Go. I gave you 2. I could have said 5. 2. Go.
I don't listen to fucking. I don't listen to fucking Christmas music all year.
Don't be a Grinch, bro. Don't be a jolly a-hole. All right, go, Kirton.
Bah
I'm coming
humbug.
back to you.
All right, here we go. My probably top 2 Christmas songs. Let's go with All I Want for Christmas is a Hippopotamus and the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas. Classic.
Is you.
Classic bangers. All right, Jack, you on the spot. Go.
I asked Cletus first. I'll be last.
No, you go.
We can't even think of what day it is right now.
I don't fucking know. Like I legitimately.
Okay, one of my all-time favorite is Lone Star's Reason for the Season. Number 2, you cannot go wrong with it. It gets me hyped. But Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid. That's a classic. Those are my 2.
Another one I got is Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
That's a good one.
By
Can't go wrong with that one.
Brenda Lee.
All right, Clete, your turn. Go, man. You get 2. Go.
That
one. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
That's a good one. The Jackson 5, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, is pretty good.
That's a good one. Okay.
That's a real upbeat. The one I was thinking of, you said something. Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Yeah.
Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mama's cooking chicken and collard green. Yeah. It's pretty good one.
All right, there you go. Cletus on the spot. Got 2 good ones. Can't go wrong with those.
Spot.
Actually, he's looking on his phone, but we'll let it go. NBA, the courts are cool, but we got a long way to go. We got all the way until June to figure out the champion.
The rest of the NBA we don't really care about. I just
shout out hockey, baby. Hockey's in full swing. You got a star. You gotta
Can't wait
hockey.
to go see a game. Can't wait to go see a game this year.
Oh, I'll be going, big guy. We're going sometime.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to go. We're gonna go together. We're gonna go stop at Pluckers and we're gonna get juiced up and then we're gonna go watch some stars bang it out.
Juiced up, man. Here we go. Let's go, Stars. We're gonna be fighting people on the bleachers.
We're gonna be all over. We're gonna be viral. It's gonna be great. But gentlemen, as always, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to catch up with you guys. I know we are all busy in our own right. Cletus, again, good luck this week. Carry on the that playoff torch for us all. Good luck to the Roosevelt Eagles.
If only I had a hat to wear on Friday.
What?
I'll be the light hat.
Got him. What a shitty way to end the podcast, man.
I love it. Well done, Clete. Well done, Clete. Well done,
no,
sir.
you're right. You're right.
I'm just a bystander, dude.
You're right.
Well done.
now I got my time, so now I need to put my focus onto these hats. So don't worry.
Well done, Clete.
We'll try to get him
Proud of
before
you.
Christmas. We'll try to get him before Christmas up.
Don't say that. No, we said we're gonna try to get him before August. Yeah, never fucking happened.
Well, I said Christmas of 2024, so we still got.
No. You got a year. You got a year to get him.
All right,
We've
I
actually
promise
had
that I'm
two.
gonna work on it. So.
Um,
I've had more progress than the other hat guy. I promise. Okay,
that's probably true.
I've actually had contact with the company that takes forever to write back.
That's
We just gotta
probably
find.
true.
We gotta find font. We gotta find that font. So,
Find the
anyway,
font.
gotta find the font.
the
But
font.
as always, gentlemen, this is the D.B.A.B podcast. Remember, you can always find us where podcasts can be found: Apple, Spotify, all the above. We're on the X. We're on YouTube. Go follow us, like us, subscribe to us, repost us, share with your buddies, share with your fam. Enjoy the holiday season that's about to come up.
No
take that
podcast
time.
next week, probably.
Yeah, probably
Right.
we'll be on the road with family. Enjoy your time with family.
Bitches.
Cherish those moments, right? Live it up. Live in the
Oh,
moment, right? All that
Jack,
good stuff.
Need to
go
hook
ahead.
up. Need to hook up next week sometime when you're in the LBK.
Yes.
The pig's ass
Without a
pork,
doubt.
in the words of my
Fuck
good
yeah.
friends.
We ain't going to Dave and Buster's. We ain't going to fucking Dave and Buster's. That's for damn sure.
No,
I
no.
can tell you where
Damn
we're going.
sure.
I
Oh,
can
Cap
tell
Rock,
you where
baby.
we
Cap
are
Rock.
going.
We're going Cap Rock.
Where the cheese is cheesy.
And the coldest drinks in town. But, gentlemen, without further
company
ado, this is
voices.
the DBAB podcast. Love you, fellas. Take care of each other.
Be the light.
Always remember, be the light. Okay? Take it easy, fellas.
Yep.